White Rocket Entertainment, podcast number 1003. It's a prelude to a barbecue, John. The future is known only to a few, including BOLTAR the All-Knowing, who joins us tonight, plus a whole lot of football news to talk about. The AU Wishbone is next. From Southern Illinois and Eastern Virginia, the weather's kind of mediocre. It's the AU Wishbone podcast. John, how are you tonight?
I'm well, Van. How are you?
Good. Now, I'm glad I got the intro in the right order this week.
I was going to say, you clicked the button at the right moment this time.
I got it. Yes, it was very exciting for me too. So that's the first time. It's the second time we used the new opening, but it's the first time I've actually gotten it right. So that's very exciting. This is the prelude to a barbecue. Next week, 1 week from tonight, is our biggest show of the year, the SEC Preview Barbecue Special. John, tell the folks what we will be doing next week. Then we'll tell them what we're going to do tonight.
Next week, Van and I will be imbibing barbecue on the air, actually eating on the air. If that bothers you, you don't have to listen to that. And then the barbecue will reveal to us the secrets of what will happen during the SEC football season, and we will then announce the records of each SEC team, what they will be.
There it is. There it is. Right. And we may have some fact checks coming later tonight, but I believe we are infallible and have never missed a single pick in all these years. That's debatable. Some might argue, but I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it for now.
We're never wrong, just early.
Right. We are infallible. All right. All right. So heads up, as always, to our podcast only listeners. If you're enjoying the show on audio only, that's perfectly fine. Continue to do that as you have for the last 15 years. If, however, you'd like to watch the antics, including getting to see BOLTAR the All-Knowing himself in a little bit later in the show, our show streams live every Monday night at about 8:15 Central, 9:15 Eastern on YouTube, the AU Wishbone TV channel. Just click on the live tab or you won't be able to find it. And we are also there on YouTube after the fact on into infinity. As long as there are data centers and there is video recorded somewhere for you to download, we will be out there in immortality. All right, so we got a couple of things to get to early on tonight, but first we always the Auburn Fun Meter, our weekly check-in into how much fun it is to be an Auburn fan right now. What are you thinking, John?
I mean, no games, football or basketball. We got practice. Talking about practice. We are starting to get to that place where you can sense the season coming. It's like a little breeze coming over the hill for you. So I'm excited about that, but I can only be so excited in the middle of August when there's no football. So I'm going to say a 6.
Yeah, 6. That's fair. I'm a little more excited because we got the barbecue show coming up, and we've got we're seeing the team like. When the coach is mad, and we're going to talk about that, when the coach is fussing at him saying they need to humble themselves rather than saying, I need to work on my tee shot off of 17, that makes me feel good. I'm a little, I give it a little half more than you did. I'm currently trying to find what I did on the soundboard with our special, one of our many special features tonight.
While Van is looking, I'll say this: what he's looking for is something that everyone's been asking for week by week.
Yeah.
Over the off season, and we're here. We're only a couple weeks away from this game, and we need it.
Yeah.
It's time to unveil.
All right, I'm just gonna have to go and play it direct. Play it like I play it the way I play the guess the game audios. which is directly off the file rather than putting it into the soundboard. So I'm going to go to date created. Here it is. Are you ready for it? You want me to go ahead and do it? Fire it up. Here is this year's opening game Hate Week audio.
My name is Balor.
It's Baylor Hate Week 2026.
You need Kool-Aid.
Pleasant on the return. Rayshawn Pleasant, breakaway speed. He scored twice on kicks before he got to Auburn, and he's got one for the Tigers tonight. 98 yards.
Give you my love. Gonna give you my love. Oh. Want a whole lot of love. Want a whole lot of love. Want a whole lot of
It's Baylor Hate Week 2026.
Get an extra shot in there.
Why did you attack our people? Commander, please believe me. I mean your people no harm.
All right, there it was. Baylor Hate Week 2027.
Hey, listen, you got Led Zeppelin and Rayshawn Pleasant's kick return in there, and Howard Dean screaming,
And a little Space 1999.
and some extra cannon shots. I don't know what else you could have done there. I really don't. It's a masterpiece.
I don't know how the thing about the Baylor, the thing about the Hate Week audios is it usually hinges on finding the right piece of music. And I think that for all that last year's was too long, its biggest failure was it never had a piece of music that emerged that could hold it together. So it kind of just meandered. And I accept the responsibility for that. But when I thought a whole lot of love, I'm like, oh, yeah, but a whole lot of love was like the little rug in the Big Lebowski's apartment. It pulled the whole thing together. See? So, all right, there you go. We might hear that again a few hundred times before the week is over, the month is over. But all right, very good, very good.
All the patrons are allowed to put that as their
at some point
as their name on the thank the patrons thing. So then Van has to play it 32 times in a row, whatever. So.
All right, let's see. So we have a bunch of news. We had a scrimmage, and what did we, to quote the great Steak Shapiro in Atlanta radio, what did we learn from the scrimmage, John, if anything?
Some, but not too much, right? It was a scrimmage, and so as we say, anytime there's actually a scrimmage or a day, if one side of the ball is great, is that because they were great or because the other one was bad? So Golish's comments, he felt it was good, but far from polished. He wasn't happy with the tackling, which, again, it was their second day in pads.
Yeah, I wanted to mention there was a good quote there where
go ahead.
We got a little lag. I'm sorry. I apologize, John. Yeah, there was a good quote there. You talk about the tackling. I thought Golish said something really interesting. He said tackling in open space is the hardest thing to do in football, which I thought was an interesting observation. I'd never really thought about it before, but that's fair. And then he said that's why our offense is designed the way it is. It puts other teams' defenses in that position, which I think is really cool. So he's not happy with our defense in open field tackling when that's what we do.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I thought that was really good.
It is. It's also like obviously football and practice are different than they were 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And part of that is the amount of live tackling that teams do. Teams nowadays don't do nearly as much tackling of other live human beings as they did 10 years ago or 20 years ago. So.
Right. It's an interesting point. He did seem happy with Brown and with the main receivers. There seems to be a separation between the top 3 or 4 receivers and the rest of them.
Yes, very much. And everybody thinks Brown had a pretty good day too.
Yeah. So that would be basically Nimrod, Koger, Singleton. They look really good. And then I think Neptune's been still hurt a little bit. He's been kind of on and off. And then Deshaun
Spencer.
Yeah, he's certainly done really well. Maybe there's a drop off after that. Kane, we learned from a couple of days earlier that Kane is really fast and they really value his abilities. He just hasn't kind of caught on to the offense as quickly as the guys that came from South Florida, obviously. So that's to be expected. So, all right, what else we know? Byron Brown, the South Florida guys are saying that he looks way better than previous. That they're saying that there's a noticeable difference between him right now and him last year when he was, passing for 3,000 yards and running for 1,000 yards.
No, that's exciting. They've seen him every day in practice, and it's encouraging that he knows the offense, he knows the players, but also that he's worked on developing himself and that the players around him think he is better. I think this, it's a huge thing in terms of they believe in him, and I think that gives the whole team a level of confidence that is different.
Yeah, I think so. I continue to harp on this whole idea that it seems like the whole team has come in during the summer and just hulked out. They all are just apparently. You keep seeing the phrase rebuilding their body.
Yes.
And apparently Brown is no different than the others. And he already looked like a defensive end, basically, kind of like Cam. They used to say Cam looked like a defensive end getting off the bus. He's not that tall or quite not that big, but he's still pretty big. And apparently it's just remarkable. I feel like this team right now, even if we didn't have theoretically a better coach, a better system and all that, even if this was just our players with the previous regime, I'd feel like we were better just because it seems like they're all going to be in much better physical condition. And part of that is the offense that they run, you have to be, right?
Yeah. If you're going to play in that offense, you got to be able to, recover and get back up and get lined up and run it again.
That's right.
As you said, the receivers look good. Singleton, I think, looks really good. They have a lot of confidence in him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Singleton, the quote was, even when he's covered, he's open, so you have to give him a chance to make a play.
Yes. That's encouraging.
Yeah. More good news about Deshaun Spencer and Omar Mabson. Both continue to shine. There's a number of players that we haven't been getting these stellar reports about because some of the reporters I've heard from have said basically they're just steadily good. They're not lighting things up unexpectedly like Mabson has been, or Spencer has. They were expected to be good, and they are. So you've kind of got the players that were expected to be here and they're like that. And then you got the ones that were expected to be here and they're here. So I haven't really, that's why it seems so surprising and kind of troubling when we hear anybody being singled out as going backwards, because that's so rare, it seems like. I think Washington, the running back, is the only one that they really talked a lot about is not being quite where they want him to be. That's the only player I can think of that they've been kind of he needs some more work, to put it diplomatically. So.
No, I think that's fair. Very fair.
And then Jacob Strand, the offensive lineman, transferred in from Oregon State. Apparently he's looked really good too.
Yeah, he was a guy who was banged up last year and couldn't play much in the spring, but he's fully healthy now. And they think he's coming on making a bid for a starting job at this point. So that's pretty good. We need some more depth on the offensive line. So somebody else stepping up there is a good sign.
Yeah, very good. Very good. All right. They were having pre-snap issues on offense was all they would say. What do you suppose that means?
I mean, again, in this offense, you got to be able to get the play call and get lined up correctly, and then execute very quickly. And so that's something that I think they had a few issues on, just trying to go at tempo, like for a whole half of football, that at some points they weren't able to execute as quickly as they wanted to.
One of the more, and I guess this is, you tell me your reaction to this. Is this just coach speak? Is this just Golish being Golish? Is this something we should really be concerned about? He said, his quote was like, we're not even concerned about winning football games right now. We need to behave like a veteran team that knows what it's doing. And instead we're being emotional and bouncing from play to play, which is, he said, which is exactly the opposite of what we want to be. We've got a lot of work to do in a short time. Now translate that into normal English human speak for me.
I mean, on both sides of the ball, you have to ignore the previous play and go out and execute. You can't get too high or too low. You got to keep focused, and you can't let, a bad break or a penalty or a drop pass or a turnover or something else, or if you're on defense, you can't let a guy missing a thing and a big touchdown lead you to, get too emotional in the next snap and not do your assignment the right way. I think when I hear that, that's what I think of. Yeah. The other thing I heard from
I translate Golish as saying, in Soviet Russia, tackling sled tackles you. All right, that's all. That's all I wanted to get in there. I'm sorry, go ahead. We have a lag issue, John, so we're not trying to talk over each other. It's just kind of happening, but it just happens sometimes. We apologize to the audience. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. I think we have some thunderstorms in our area that might be part of that too. So, the other thing that happened in the scrimmage I heard about was that Byron Brown, you were talking about him earlier, ran for a touchdown of a decent length. And this is in a scrimmage where it's two-hand touch on the quarterback and he's down. And nobody touched him.
Right.
Against our defense. So that's pretty freaking good.
I was thinking when they said he had a long touchdown run, I'm like, but he's in an orange jersey. So that means not only did he have a long touchdown run, he had a long touchdown run where from the time he took the snap until the end zone, nobody even got close. How do you do that? How did he get the entire defense to go the other way? And then he just went right.
Good blocking, and he's freaking fast.
Wow. I mean, am I crazy or should I be really excited for the season to start? I'm ready to play some tackle football with Baylor and with Southern Miss, and then who comes into town.
You should.
By the way, our two home openers are both night games. That's pretty cool. I hope we don't quote unquote need that for Southern Miss, but for the reptiles, the swamp dwellers, LSU's the swamp dwellers, the green swamp dwellers in orange and blue. I'll take it. I'll take every advantage I can get in that game because I want to beat the freaking Gators, and we're going to be driving all the way down there. You and I, we want to see a victory. They had some. The defense looked good in the red zone, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, the offense, I think, moved the ball well, and they scored some, but the defense made a couple of stands in the red zone. So they had a big goal line stand. So that was interesting. And they played they moved like Diaz and some of the other smaller linebackers around and played them at nickel, which is a different look, where they can get out in space more. And I think it's going to be a problem for them covering some of the really good slot receivers in the league, but against some of the running teams, that may be a good move for us. So.
We've known that Xavier Atkins and from the Xavier School for Gifted Linebackers is good. We've known that all along. But it seems like every week we're hearing about another linebacker besides him that's like tearing up camp.
Yep.
This is exciting. And that's Durkin's position that he directly coaches. So that's pretty good. It's pretty good.
No.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
We got some talent there.
Elijah Melendez, Diaz, Xavier School for Gifted Linebackers.
Riddick back healthy again after a year.
Oh, could we trade one of them for like a good edge rusher, or are we good? We happy like what we got?
No. Well, I mean, I will put this out there. No, Atkins is an inside linebacker, kind of a will linebacker, like a weak side space linebacker. Xavier Atkins led the SEC in tackles for loss last year. Okay. Led the SEC. So there's a bunch of guys right behind him who are now playing in the NFL.
That's impressive.
And so that guy by himself is kind of a one-man wrecking crew that can make up for a lot of the other things. I would say he was third in sacks last year. The only guy returning ahead of him is Colin Simmons at Texas, who's going to be a first-round pick next year. So that's pretty good company. So Xavier Atkins had 9 sacks and 17 tackles for loss last year. So he can contribute that disruption and maybe take some pressure off the edge rushers, so it's not all on them.
This is making me happy.
Then so be it.
Yeah. I just look at our linebackers and I think a couple of things. I think
There they are.
oh yeah, and I think
They just say that we're some dogs, honestly.
yeah, I said that too.
That one. That's it.
And then if everything goes well,
I want you to put the word out there that we back up. Understand me? We back up.
now we've been saying that for a couple of years, but I feel like
Let's
this
say that
year's
until we're actually back up.
It's actually back up. Yeah, I hope so. I'm certainly hoping. So the Tigers go back to Jordan-Hare Stadium on Wednesday for their second scrimmage. Classes started today as we record this on Monday. Now the classes started for me today too. I was back teaching my first 2 classes this morning. So yeah, same as Auburn. By the way, University of Illinois hasn't started yet, but we moved Mira in on Wednesday. This is all very big excitement here at the Palatial White Rocket Studios, where we're losing our intern, our assistant, and our Boris Wrangler will be going off to school. So
Announcer.
Announcer. That's right. So we're there's very mixed emotions about it all, as you can imagine. She did just bring me an extra drink, so that was very kind of her after I texted her. So they'll be back Wednesday. They won't have a day off for practices. They'll keep practicing. They're going to transition away from their time at the Marriott to their regular situation over the weekend. They did. Somebody pointed out, here's the overarching message from Golesh to the players after the scrimmage. There tends to be an element, and this is every camp, but you're 9 or 10 days in, you start feeling like you want a job or want a role in this or that. You start getting a little bit comfortable, like, all right, we're getting close to the season and everything. We're still in camp mode for another week. When I say humble yourself, I mean show up, get coached, take the hard coaching, and go perform at an elite level. Well, that's what I tell John every week before we start the podcast, right? Humble yourself, John. Let Boris do what he has to. Let Jared come in with the guess the game. You and I are just the monkeys pushing the buttons while all the entertainment happens around us sometimes. So any thoughts about Golesh and his approach to camp and to the upcoming season? I mean, I think so far I like it. I thought
I like it a
good.
lot. I like what he's
do I
doing.
know?
Like the strings he's pulling.
So a couple things we found out: the home opener against Southern Miss will kick off at 6:45 Central on September 12 on the SEC Network. This will be the 24th matchup between Auburn and Southern Miss. I've said before that we used to play them all the time. All three of those games were played in Jordan. All but three were played in Jordan-Hare. The other three back in like the 1940s were played in Montgomery. Southern Miss defeated Auburn in 90 and 91 by 1 point each. The first was a Brett Favre quarterback game, so that's not that shocking. 91 was the one that was disappointing because they didn't have Brett Favre anymore, and we still found a way to lose to them. But we beat them in 92, 93, 08, and 18. Just haven't played them that much lately. This is a bye game. We paid them $1.5 million to come play.
They are
in other news, Gary Chapman Jr. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just want to say Southern Miss is not nearly as good as those 1990 teams. So they are bad.
No. They used to be the best team in Mississippi for a long time.
Yeah.
They would routinely beat Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Yeah, I know. When Ole Miss and Mississippi State exerted their SEC-ness and Southern Miss ended up in like the American Conference or whatever, there was no way they could sustain it at that point. It just, being in the SEC didn't really mean as much in 1982 maybe as it does now. You know what I mean? And in terms of recruiting and money, the difference just wasn't that huge like it is now. So, yeah. Gary Chapman, junior Auburn commit, had a very good high school game over the weekend, was dual threading his way all over the field, looked really good. What I looked at some of his highlights, and what really impressed me about him is he's just so smooth letting go of the ball. He can just be standing there and and the ball is a perfect spiral zipping down the field, long range. Doesn't even look like he exerted himself to throw it. He's got a really good arm, it looks like. So that's very exciting. Couple other things. I wanted to note Joe Dean Jr. passed away apparently today or yesterday. He was Jim Fife's partner on the basketball radio show for a long time on the radio play-by-play. I guess he was the color analyst. I'd forgotten about that. I remember his dad, and I remember him with all kinds of cool stories and stuff. David Housel, friend of the show, friend of ours, former SID at Auburn and athletic director, said his passing was he said he was a gift to the SEC and beyond. So rest in peace, Joe Dean Jr.
Yeah.
Another couple more little odds and ends. Jackson Coyven finished 24th at the St. Jude's tournament this weekend, which was okay, but not enough to get him up in the top 50. He had just snuck into that field at number 70 out of 70, but you had to be in the top 50 to get on to the last round, which is in St. Louis next weekend. I was planning to try to get up there and go to a day of it, but I think he ended up 3 under for the weekend, but not enough to get him into this tournament. But I think he is going to be in the Masters.
Very
so
exciting.
That's pretty cool. Looking forward to seeing him in the Masters. And then, of course, next year he'll come in from the very beginning, as a pro, and so he should be rocking and rolling.
Oh, yeah.
Did we talk about our new player on basketball last week, or did that happen since then?
It happened since then. So the court ruling, we haven't talked about this yet. There was a court ruling that players who finished their eligibility last year in football or basketball would be eligible for one more season. Could get overturned or whatever, but basically those players who want to play another season can. And so Auburn football signed a player today too in a minute, but in basketball, we signed a guard named Colby King, a smaller guard who played at Utah State last year. He's played at multiple teams, but he's a solid kind of off the bench, 11th or 12th guy. If we need another backup guard in a situation, point guard particularly, if we need somebody else to do that, if our guard that's come over from Vanderbilt is banged up and we need some minutes off the bench, he could definitely do that, I think. So, and then football signed a a wide receiver. I think it was at Troy, who's just going to be another like on the bench wide receiver for us, a depth guy. So,
Okay.
it's time. It's time. Do it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, he's making his way into the studio now. He's going to come up here full screen in a second. He's just trying to get himself comfortable on screen. Oh, there he goes. All right. It is the one and only, the fantastic Boltar, the all-knowing and all-seeing, here to reveal his wisdom about the SEC. Are you ready, John? Here he goes. Uh-oh. He needs his music. So what happened was he found one of those Zoltar machines, right, where you put the quarter in and it tells you like how things are going to happen, what the future is, and it also gives you lucky numbers, and it gives you, he's got his little cape here, I don't know if you can tell his outfit, and his Swami hat is on there, his yeah. So he decided he would do this for Auburn, and so here comes, put a quarter in the machine, clunk, 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 clunk. Arkansas, your mascot may be delicious, but he is also quite scary. No, don't let anyone tell you anything otherwise. He is quite scary. And Walmart is a perfectly fine establishment, Arkansas, filled with high-income workers who regularly attend the opera and ballet. Sure, your football fortunes have taken a downturn of late. His music messed up, sorry. Sure, your football fortunes have taken a downturn of late, but there's no longer an SEC West for you to finish last in, so things may be looking up. Oh! Your lucky numbers or spirit animal. Your lucky number is 3, as in you'll be lucky to win 3 games this year. Next. I'm trying to find the remote. All right, next, Florida, hiring the exact same coach as the guy you just fired and expecting completely different results. This is not a sign of insanity. Okay, yes it is. Yes it is. You're insane, Florida. Your lucky numbers are spirit animal. Your spirit animal has been kicked out of Disney World for attacking guests. Next, Georgia, your program is flying high, which is impressive for a pudgy little dog. Like Florida with Spurrier and Alabama with Saban, you finally found a coach that could translate your resources into success on the field. But remember, in the words of the ancient philosopher Patrick Fane Dye, the sun doesn't shine on the same dog's rear end all the time. Enjoy it while it lasts. Your spirit animal is passed out on top of a large bag of ice in a little house inside Stanford Stadium. Congratulations. Next. Let's just enjoy the music for a moment. Kentucky, thank you for getting Hugh Freeze fired. That is all. Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin is no longer there to hurt you. Addition by subtraction. That is all. Mississippi State, have you considered the Big 12 or the Sun Belt or Division II? Your lucky number is how many ever decibels those cowbells are. Oklahoma, cheaters, your spirit animal is a glorious stallion that cheats at football. Next, South Carolina, be proud, be brave, be determined, be confident, be all that stuff. It won't help though. You're still going 5-7. Your lucky number is 6, and how many McNuggets come in a small box? Next, Next, Tennessee. The signs and portents tell Boltar that you should be sure to use a high-quality toothpaste on your tooth. And when you break up with your sister, try to let her down easy. Oh! You're lucky. Your spirit animal is a dog with a constitution of a sickly possum. Next, Texas. The lack of SEC titles is bigger in Texas, John. Oh! Your lucky number is 1, as in one SEC team picked ahead of you, but it's Georgia, so good luck. Next, Texas A&M. Your continued lack of relevance is reassuring to all of us that money hasn't become the only thing that matters in SEC football quite yet. Your spirit animal rescues children that fell down the well. That is something anyway. But your cheerleader dudes are very weird, and they frighten Boltar. And that needs to stop immediately. Next, Vanderbilt. You found a good coach. He won a bunch of games for you, and he didn't immediately take a better job somewhere else. That's the biggest miracle in SEC history. Enjoy it for as long as it lasts. Your spirit animal was the judge that let Diego Pavia return for one more season, but now he's gone. Next. Now we're down to the last two. We're down to the last two. Alabama. Old thinking. The changes wrought by NIL and the transfer portal are terrible for college football. New thinking. The changes drove Nick Saban into retirement and Alabama down into like 5th place in the league. New thinking wins. And finally, your lucky number is probably made up. Just kidding. Your lucky number is 41. That's your current recruiting ranking. And it took swiping a 3-star Auburn receiver to get you that high. Boltar will be saving his Auburn pick for the SEC Barbecue Show next week. This has been Boltar the All-Knowing.
Please clap.
All right. There he was. That's like the most extended Boris segment we've ever had on this show.
It is.
And possibly the last one.
Normally he's just a drive-by. So.
All right. There you go. Yeah, that's true. Usually he has a comment or two, but this time he actually wanted to he kind of thought he could do a bit on his own. I'm not sure if he can or not, but he wanted to try it. So
it's all good.
We'll let the listeners and patrons tell us if they ever want Boris to do another extended segment or if that was like a one and done.
And as Van and Boris said, the barbecue show is next week. So prepare yourselves. Like I say, the barbecue show is next week. Prepare yourselves.
Yeah, next week. Yeah.
Be ready.
Oh, man. I'm ready. I mean,
we got to get better at celebrating.
Yeah. We got to get better at eating barbecue. I thought I was already as good as you could get at eating barbecue, but we had to take our game up to an extra level to eat that much barbecue.
At 10 o'clock.
That's a lot of barbecue. And later, perhaps, depending on how it goes. Yeah. All right. So, again, it'll live stream on YouTube about 8:15 Central, 9:15 Eastern. And I wanted to note, while we appreciate comments that appear during our video shows and especially during the barbecue show, we really do. We appreciate the interest. Just in the sake of time, we're not able to do that. We tried it a couple of years ago. The show runs like 3 hours if we do that, and we don't want to still be eating barbecue at 1 a.m. We got to get up and go to work. So, and it's on a Monday. It's not even like Friday. It's Monday. So we have to make the barbecue show go quick. All right. No Formula One this week. They're still off. They got another couple weeks to go. I'm gonna have a cool Dragon Con exclusive hardcover at Dragon Con. They just approved it. They're gonna have them promoted on the Dragon Con social media and stuff. So if you want to get a hardcover copy of the first two, Vegas Heist and Miami Heist, come see me at Dragon Con table, 4th floor, above on the top of the Americas Mark 2. Let's see. Coming soon, the AU Wishbone Weekly SEC Pick'em Contest. You have a chance to compete against John, me, Jared, Boris, Boltar the Magnificent, and other recent winners to pick the weekly winners of each SEC game. If you are a patron, then John will be sending you an email soonish. You'll be able to join in. Yeah. Speaking of the patrons, we got to thank them really quickly. I don't want the show to run all night. We started a little late too. It's my fault. So here are the fine folks. Keep this show commercial free. We don't have any gambling ads. Heck, we don't have any ads. We're one of the only podcasts. We're certainly one of the only sports Auburn podcasts that is completely commercial free. And again, as I always say, you might say, well, I'm seeing ads here on this YouTube thing. That's YouTube. That's not us. If you you're not getting any ads from us. You might be getting ads from YouTube, but we're not getting a cent of commercial of ad money at all, not a cent. So to pay all of the bills, to keep the show going, we rely on our patrons. They include the great Samuel Salvatore, who always reminds us. Who is our title sponsor for Worst Coach in the World. We have to thank Logan Chilton, who always reminds us, what do we sacrifice to be Auburn fans?
So what do I sacrifice?
Hurt near
everything.
There you go. Yeah. We have the great Ben Spooner.
Blasphemy!
Carl Von Drunker, Chris and Clinton Stewart. Is it Baylor Hate Week yet? Well, we've settled that question at last, and I'll play it again before we're done. Earl Ricks, Phil Amthor now giving Van and John a break from Richard Stevens, Steve Trawick, Ann Pridgeon, Shane Bailey, Susan Trey. Let me just say, they can't all be UMass. But I try to get to approach the level of the UMass Hate Week. That one was just untouchable, though. I don't think we'll ever catch that.
Fife and drum.
It just was perfect. I mean, the cannons. I mean, it all just went together. It makes me want to go shoot some redcoats in Lexington or something.
We should schedule UMass again just so you can play that.
Willie Carden, washed up fantasy F1 team principal Lane, Gary Grant, a.k.a. AU fan at KSC, and 2023 AU Wishbone NCAA Men's Tournament Challenge Champion, William Morgan, Bradley Blackman, Eric Morgan, Michael Kirshner, David W.D. Sammons Esquire, G. Money, Rich Reimer, Steve Harlan, Wes Atkinson, Dan Thompson, a few more patrons, then back to the authorities. Catherine England, Will Summerford, no one fights like Gaston. This is the year we have a winning season. Well,
please clap.
I hope that's true. Well,
that's a pretty bold statement.
It is.
You know what I mean? It's factual.
Hopefully, it's factual. Jacob and Robin Fleming. Yeah. Mickey B. Winston Body, Brandon Smith, Daniel Odom, 2008-2009 Taliban Wrangler World Champion. H-Town Danny, WDE Richie, Chris Hilton, Bob, WD Salmons, Auburn University Debate Team 7475, and current Sleazy Shyster. Algo Rhythm and Blues, Charles Mooney, Rusty Owens, Luther and Kelly Ottaway. Where can you weigh a whale? At a whaleway station. Have to take a break. How do you even come up with that one?
Twisted minds.
Todd Robinson, a.k.a. Undisputed 2012 Doubles Badminton Intramural Champion. Chad McDowell. Again, I always say badminton is it's a deceptively easy looking but hard to do activity. Auburn football's Elvis, Wade Ward. I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Like an unwanted neighbor that comes over and visits.
From the Weather Channel, Reynolds Wolf.
Thunder snow.
Hadn't done that in a while. He deserves it. He's great. Philip Martin, Jeff Hunter, David G. is a health and safety representative for
Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage.
And of course, they need one. Alex and Michael in Singapore. I need to get back to Sentosa Island sometime. Mark Margolis, Ashley Lamar, Timothy. They have a great Kinokuniya Japanese bookstore in Singapore. It is incredible. Makes Barnes & Noble look like a phone booth. It's fantastic. Russell Milling, Randall Walker, Josh Teal, Tony Perry, Rob Morgan. Patrick Williams says the AU Wishbone is simply...
Whether you like it or not, learn to love it because it's the best thing going today.
Woo! Let's see. Construction Tiger, Papa Todd, Stephen Houston, Kevin Mahan, Blake Heron, Sarah Hines, Sasquatch, our 7-time North America hide and seek champ and last year's basketball bracket winner. Tim Pittman, our own, who just had his own segment, Boris the Tiger. Lean in, Boris. What? Oh, no. He was losing his balance. There you go. I got fired from the keyboard factory because I wasn't putting enough shifts in. I misunderstood that one at first, and then I got it, and I'm like, okay, I get it. Wow. David D, Auburn Blue, Dr. Crackham, Eternal Glory. Walt is ready to be heard again. Bring on Baylor 8 week. But we'll in just a minute. Antoine Morris, ABB, Wiggiber, the 2005 Auburn University Intramural Horseshoes champion. Tyler Ward, words of great encouragement. Mark Squire, cue the anthem, boys. You know who is number one. That also gets us a copyright strike. And I mentioned last week that the funny thing about it is because we don't have ads, they don't actually penalize us. They just put a big red alert on my account and say, once again, you have violated copyright. However, because you don't make any money off of this, it's all good. Yay, I guess. Alex Wynn, Kenneth Brent Rain says the barbecue. Oh, it's the week before. We're going to find out. He says the barbecue has failed me for the last time.
You have failed me for the last time.
It could still fail you again.
No, this is the 1 week of the year that his quote works.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. John Stubbs, Clay Henson, Justin Bean, James Taylor, Ruth, and Darren Sutherland, Ben Amos, Spanky. Being at the bottom of this list, I love a chance to play this. Being at the bottom of this list is like me. I like that bell.
The 11 a.m. Jefferson Pilot time slot of death.
Chris Como, Darren Pyle, Theodore Gary, and finally, David Smiley, Trevor Johnson, college equestrian expert Auburn Elvis, AU falling up. A New Hope is better than Empire. We just don't call it that. Paul Bankson. Going to see her in a couple of weeks. Our own beloved MVP, captivating Kathy Bright.
Your love of the halfling's leaf has clearly slowed your mind.
We'll be seeing Jared too, and Alan and his wife, and Laura, and a whole crowd. That's going to be fun. In fact, let's see, of the 6 people on our 1000th episode, 4 will be there at DragonCon plus Kathy and plus Alan's wife. So that'll be fun. Come on out and see us. Ben Regas, Bobby Polite, Elizabeth Donald, I'll buy this for $1, Rich Hammett, Chris Braun, Alex Browns, the Slinko family. What is the difference between Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back? One is a great start. The other is a masterpiece. Jim McCrory, I am Tiger. I only seem to get sick on Wednesdays. I must have a weekend immune system. New York Tiger, CT Tiger, Jim Myers, Trey Jackson, Howard Franz, Peter Wang, William O. Chris, and our one-time and anonymous donors, www.awishbone.com. I didn't say that at the beginning. I don't think is the place to go. Click on the big orange button to join them, become a patron, participate in the SEC Pick'em contest, and everything else that we do. by the way, I don't mention this enough. The reason that Alan and Jared will be at Dragon Con at the tables next to me is, I have my various crime novels and sci-fi stuff and all. Alan has some James Bond stuff and a few other types of books, and I believe his wife has one or two as well. And then Jared will have his art, and he has this amazing display of all the different characters he's done. Like, he does basically like postcard sized pages from books with the character in color on them, and he's got everything you can. It's like I call it 2-dimensional Funko Pops, So instead of a little box with a character, it's just a page, and they're fantastic. And he does them all by hand. They're beautiful. Okay, so come on out and see us. Let's see. We have a Guess the Game. Speaking of Jared, you ready for it?
Hit it.
Hello, Van, John, the rest of the AU Wishbone family. This is Jared Albrecht, the yard sale artist, here with Guess the Game number 182. Guess the Game 182 is brought to you by Brian Dupree. Let's see what Brian sent in.
Here's the on his way. Goodbye. In your face. 71 yards.
Okay, guys, I will see you in the hint file.
The whole thing was a peep.
It was. I thought that was Keith Jackson.
I think it was.
So a very old game, an ABC game, I think. Probably a bowl game or Alabama.
Yeah. That's all we got on TV back then.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a long run by theoretically one of our running backs, I think. So was there a big Bo Jackson run that fits this? Is there another run that comes to mind for you?
Bo didn't have a big run in the 82 Iron Bowl. Not a big one. But how do you feel about the Tornado Iron Bowl of 83?
Yeah.
I think he might have had one in the 85 Iron Bowl, but we lost that one, so that Jared wouldn't have included that. So if it's Bo and it's an Iron Bowl with Keith Jackson,
let's go to the hint file, but I like your 83 Alabama pick.
Okay. I'm so paranoid ever since we decided that I talk you out of the right answers now. I'm just like in utter fear of messing you up when you have a good idea. And I'm like, no, John, that's a silly. John, you're silly. This clearly this. And then it's what so I look like an idiot. All right, let's go to the hint file.
Let's get rid of those bleeps and give it another listen.
If it's Bo Jackson.
Andy Campbell gives to Bo Jackson. Jackson's on his way. Goodbye. In your face. 71 yards for Bo Jackson.
Okay, guys, I will see you in the answer file.
I think that fans nowadays, younger fans that didn't really live through the Bo Jackson era, it's just hard to understand how we had a player. The play where Cam ran 55 yards on LSU up the middle, and it's just like that's like the poster play for that season, basically.
Superhuman.
We had a player who did that about once every game or two against Florida State, against Alabama, against Tennessee, against Georgia. That's, more than anything else, it wasn't just that Bo could grind out 5 or 6 yards a carry. It was that every once in a while he would take the top off and nobody could catch him. And that's what made him so different. He was a power back, in the interior, but if he got on the perimeter, he was Ontario McCaleb. It was, he was Michael Dyer and Ontario McCaleb at the same time. And that's so rare. It's crazy. It's crazy. So how do you feel? Do you feel all right about 83? The Tornado?
You said Randy Campbell. So
yeah, he was the senior quarterback on that Sugar Bowl.
That's
team.
right. So
all right, here we go.
Okay, Van, John, if you guys figured out that this is the 1983 Iron Bowl, Auburn versus Alabama, with Bo Jackson doing Bo Jackson things, then you win. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is the bye-bye Bo play, but being called by different announcers. Now, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that's what we have, because Brian initially sent in the bye-bye Bo play. And I was like, I feel like that would be too easy as like part of your intro and all that, but I didn't want to stiff Brian on his suggestion. So I think I successfully found a different call for the same play. I could be wrong, but anyway, hopefully it was just fun either way. This is likely our last Guess the Game before the football season kicks off for the 2026 season. So I will see everyone on the other side in 2027 after Auburn has won the national championship, of course. I have about 14 or 15 more Guess the Game suggestions still sitting in the backlog. I fully intend to get to those when we get back in 2027. So I will see you guys after the new year. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Auburn football season. And to everyone, Van, John, and all the AU Wishbone folks, Roar Eagle.
Great job by Jared as always. We really appreciate. I'm not I think he's right. The only other play I can think of that Bye Bye Bo could be is a Georgia Tech game, but I think I'm happy with. I think he was probably right. I think he was probably right. And I'm thinking of something else. So good job. Good job by Jared. Let's see. So we are here we go. Going off to Illinois this week.
Thank you. Order. Questions to the Prime Minister.
It's time for listener questions. Dun, 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 on the AU Wishbone podcast.
All right. What we got in the mailbag?
We're going to start with online this week. There was a joke, kind of running thing. Would you let your friend punch you in the face for a national title? And Van immediately quote tweeted and said, yes, I would punch John in the face for a national title. And I just wanted the listeners to hear that and think about it. I
about died when you put that in the when I read that in the show notes. I fell on the floor. I was laughing so hard.
I think most Auburn fans would, but also like the assumption that I would immediately say, yes, a national title, sign me up for whatever. I just thought that was funny.
That was funny. Oh, that's good.
All right. Our first email was from Nicholas Cottrell, who the subject line is some very serious statistical analysis. He says, gentlemen, amongst many things that set this podcast apart from others are Guess the Game segment and your dedication to only giving a season prediction once per year. I had a little time to kill at work yesterday and decided to see just how good the two of you are at these things. I analyzed every barbecue show from 22 to 25 and every Guess the Game segment broadcast so far in 25 and came up with the following. For the barbecue shows, neither of you have ever predicted to win less than they did in this season. And Van Trax is being slightly more optimistic than John, having predicted one more win than John over the last 4 years. John has a tendency to project a range of wins, 7 or 8 in 22, 8 or 9 in 25. In both cases, I scored him according to whichever win total he spoke about more during his comments. In the interest of scientific accuracy, John, please listen to Q more closely this year. It has an exact number waiting for you. Okay. For the Guess the Game segment, the two of you have gone 15-5 over the course of 2026. Your longest losing streak was 3 in a row in April, all submitted by Bob Sammons. That streak contained the only instance this year I'm going to count as Van talking John out of the right answer, and even that is shaky. The game in question was 1990 versus Georgia. Y'all guessed 2000, but John was going early 90s with his guesses before more discussion. He may not have landed on the right answer, but he was at least pulling in the right direction. Your longest consecutive streak was 13 games, only broken by, you guessed it, Bob Simmons contributing another head scratcher. The most frequently represented opponent on Guess the Game this year, as of this writing, is unsurprisingly Alabama with 4 appearances, followed by several teams that had 2. The surprising opponent was UCF, which not only had 2 Guess the Game segments, they were from the same game, 1998. You got them both right. The analysis in the email is just my way of thanking you for ushering us through the offseason. Thanks as always, and War Eagle, Nicholas Cottrell.
Nicholas always has cool stuff, and I really enjoyed that email. But John sent it to me this day, and I was like, "Oh, we gotta." Because let's be fair, Nicholas is like, "You don't have to read all this on the air. I just wanted to say this," and I'm like, "John, we got to read that on the air. It's really good. I like that he deserves the credit for going back and checking on those things. And
that's some dedication right there.
That's awesome. That's really
all right. Our next email is from frequent email. Go.
If there had been a barbecue show our first year, we would have picked under. Because in 2012, there's no way we would have said 12-2. There's no way we would have said Auburn was going to win more than 12 games in 2013.
Oh, yeah. No, but what if we had a barbecue show before the 12 season?
Oh, well, I mean, it would have been like every other season where we picked too high. I'm just saying the only year that we could have really in the barbecue era picked too low was probably 2013. I think that's probably the only one that we would pick too low. Because after that, we felt like, oh, national champions, and then we were disappointed and we get eight wins. So, yeah, I think if we had done the barbecue show in our first year, that would have been when we underestimated. Yeah. But the only time.
All right. Next up, frequent emailer Bill Miner, who's the subject line is retired numbers. And he says, "Hey guys, LSU is in the news these days thanks to Jaden Daniels number 5 being used. And there's a lot of talk about retired numbers. I know Auburn's got a few, but some schools, Ole Miss notably with Chucky Mullins number 38, has a retired number that can be worn as an honor. If Auburn had a singular number that could be retired and worn by another as an honor, who and what number would it be?" Virginia Tech does this with Beamer's number 2.
Okay. Well, we haven't had a player that was like injured or near death or anything other than the one back in the Tuberville era that he still played. I think he played the next year, right? He came back. So is there a player that we would like hold up as so honorable, you know what I mean? Like special honor or something, or I can't. I mean, there's probably one or two, and we're just not thinking of them. Yeah, that's hard. There must be somebody, but you're going to have to slightly adjust the criteria, I think, for it to really fit for us. Because we don't have somebody that was courageous and was paralyzed on the field and, fought back and inspirational.
No,
Thank God.
No, but it could also just be like, if there's a famous Auburn player, whose number we wouldn't give out, right? So what numbers does Auburn not give out now?
7 for Sullivan,
34.
88, and 34-2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the Heisman winners, and then Beasley.
So let's just for entertainment value, let's say it was Beasley. Let's say it was 88.
Okay.
We get like each year a special player could earn the 88 jersey and wear it. I don't know.
Yeah. For like, it would be like you're not a Heisman contender, but you're contributing in intangibles to make everybody better or something like that. Yes. Right?
Yeah. I like that.
I'd have to put some more thought into it because I'm sure we've had several players like that over the years, but they're just not current to me off the top of my head. But yeah, there've been a lot of defensive players that would kind of fit that probably pretty well. So yeah.
Takia Spikes was 55, I think.
Oh, there's a good one. Yeah, I'd give Takia. Yeah. Tracy Rocker,
74.
Yeah. Yeah, those are good. Takio's a good example because he wasn't like a Heisman contender and he wasn't on a national championship team or anything. But to this day, Auburn fans know that guy and are like, yeah, that dude, man. Yeah, you know what I mean? He carved out a persona bigger than the team around him, really, honestly.
That's good. All right. Last email is from Kyle Roberts. And he says, long time, first time. He says, I'm hearing crazy hype around Cody Sigler. How good can he be in the SEC? What do y'all think his totals in production will be? So Cody Sigler is the defensive line transfer from Arkansas State. He is having an excellent fall.
Arkansas State.
He's, I told you last week or week before, like on PFF, he's the number 1 rated defensive tackle in the SEC this year. Like in terms of his productivity as both a run stuffer and a disruptive pass player. So I was thinking about, how does he compare to other Auburn players? I think a little bit of Colby Wooden. Wooden was more of an end, but I think like a defensive lineman who was strong against the run, but also disruptive against the pass. And I think Sigler is that kind of guy. I mean, not just a guy that holds up, but gets in the backfield and makes stuff happen.
He doesn't have to be Nick Fairley. I mean, just every bit helps. Every good bit of competence in there helps.
Yeah, nobody's Nick Fairley, right? But we've had a lot of defensive linemen who just kind of held the point of attack and didn't do a whole lot else, and I think he can do more than that. So he asked for number.
I tell you.
Go. He asked for us to predict his numbers for this year, like how many sacks or tackles for loss.
I'm not good at that. You do it. I wouldn't be with.
8.5 tackles for loss and 6 sacks. It's pretty good for a defensive tackle.
Right. That sounds pretty good, especially with everything that's going to be around him. Xavier Atkins and Melendez and all those guys.
Jared Smith.
Where are we expecting to get the most pressure on the quarterback from?
I mean, it should be right. The defensive end and the stand-up outside linebacker, Womack and Jared Smith, but it may be Atkins just because he's so good.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering, if we have somebody I wasn't even on my radar that can get in there. So, all right. So that was our questions?
Yep.
All right. And we know we got a couple of around the SEC things, and then we'll be out of here. We got plenty of time. We're doing good. Go ahead.
So I started to mention this last week. Alabama and Tennessee both have these quarterback battles going on in fall camp. I'm very thankful that we're not in that business in Auburn's fall camp.
Yes.
Tennessee has a second-year player, George McIntyre, versus a highly recruited 5-star true freshman, Faison Brandon, and that's the correct. It's not Brandon Faison, it's Faison Brandon. And meanwhile, Tennessee just lost a starting safety to injury in fall camp. He's going to miss a bunch of games. And their best defensive player they got in the transfer portal was an edge rusher from Penn State, was kicked off the team in the summertime. So those are some. Ouch. I'm very thankful we haven't had any of that kind of news at Auburn this fall camp. I'm knocking on wood when I say that, but
yes,
everybody else has to do that as well. But I think it's interesting that Auburn might play a team in Tennessee with a true freshman playing quarterback, and then Alabama also has a big quarterback battle. Keelan Russell, who was the top, big 5-star recruit for them last year, versus Austin Mack, who's a guy that's been there a few years, and so that's really a younger, more talented guy versus an experienced guys been there. And so I think in both cases, it may be one of these things where the coach is letting it drag on to push those guys and force them into competition. But it's interesting to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that other teams have these quarterback controversies, and it's just so weird how it's just such an unusual situation to hire a coach and get like an entire offense along with him. That's unheard of. Imagine if like in 1993 when Pat Dye retired, we had brought in Steve Spurrier and gotten like all of his receivers and quarterback and running back from Florida. I mean, I'm happy with what we had, and we went undefeated and won 20 games, but that's how strange that would be, to just get the whole offense along with the staff. It's so crazy. So, all right. So you had a note about our 9 conference game schedule.
I just was thinking about this a lot as we approach the barbecue show next week. This 9-game conference schedule is a huge change for the SEC. And think about it this way. Some teams are going to play 4 road games this year, and some teams are going to play 5 SEC road games. And that difference is gigantic. The teams with neutral site games, right? So Texas, Oklahoma, or Georgia, Florida are less impacted. So no matter what happens, those teams are not going to have to play 5 road games. But there's some other teams in the SEC that have to play 5 games on the road. And I think that it's really going to impact the lower teams, the worst teams in the league, because it's one more tough game.
Yes, that's right. Well, and and I made a note that I agree with you completely, but on the other hand, it feels like the bottom of the SEC is spending money, hiring coaches, bringing in players, and trying to bring themselves up. So even though in a way this hurts the bottom because they have an even harder hill to climb than they already did, on the other hand, it also hurts the top because there are no more cupcakes in the conference anymore. If you look at Vanderbilt and say, oh, cupcake, put that win on the board now, no. Mississippi State seems to be, they're not on top yet, but they seem to be digging themselves out of their hole that they occasionally find themselves in. I think that they got a good coach, and they're going to make progress, and they're going to be a very tough out for us if we do win over them. So it's like you've got forces pushing in both directions, mooshing the SEC into a 10-2, 8-4, 4-8 kind of league. I'm afraid 2-10 if you're Arkansas.
Agree.
Oh yeah, 2 if you're lucky. Sorry, Boris just gets a little excited sometimes.
All right, that's it.
All right, I guess the last thing that we'll do before we get on out of here is maybe next week I'll play that entire our entire 2025 Baylor one last time with the Landman stuff. But in the meantime,
my name is Balor.
It's Baylor Hate Week 2026.
You need Kool-Aid.
Pleasant on the return. Rayshawn Pleasant. Breakaway speed. He scored twice on kicks before he got to Auburn, and he's got one for the Tigers tonight. 98 yards.
Give you my love. I want to give you my love. Oh, want a whole lot of love. Want a whole lot of love. Want a whole lot of
It's Baylor Hate Week 2026.
Why did you attack our people? Commander, please believe me. I mean your people no harm.
They mean us no harm, John. They just want to come in, get their paycheck, and get out of Atlanta alive. We shall see. I guess I'm going to have to do one for Southern Miss, huh? The Golden Eagles, they deserve it.
Do they?
I don't know. Well, I mean, if UMass deserved one, surely.
We respect every opponent, Van, and they deserve it.
Yeah. In fact, I think I got to play this too because
It's UMass Hate Week 2023.
God, we're just playing the hits, Van. Playing the hits.
we are. Oh, it gets in, it gets it done, and it's over in like 10 seconds. All right. Any final thoughts as we get ready for barbecue next week, John? Get your stomach ready.
The off season is rapidly diminishing and drifting away. Enjoy every moment. Go to the beach one more time. Spend a little time outside because, you know, it won't be that long. We're going to be in week 0. We're going to be watching college football, and then it's all downhill.
All right. Barbecue is coming. Our time is up. We thank you for yours. War Eagle, John.
War Eagle, Van.